Hello and welcome to the first 1.18 Caves and Cliffs snapshot. This snapshot is version 21W37A. The snapshot brings the overworld revamp from the past few experimental snapshots, plus new biomes and underground biomes, noise caves and aquifers, higher build and generation limits, and of course some tweaks and bug fixes. First, let's look at the new features in 21W37A. Enchantment tables now emit a low amount of light. Using shears on the tip of a cave vine, twisting vine, weeping vine, or kelp now causes it to stop growing. Starting with the dripstone cave biome, contains plenty of pointed dripstone and dripstone blocks on the floors, ceilings, and small pools of water. In some places, you'll find larger stalagmites and stalactites. The dripstone cave biome also contains extra copper ore. The lush caves biome has also been added. You can find moss covering the floors and ceilings, as well as spore blossoms that drip particles, clay pools with drip leaf plants growing out of them, and of course azalea bushes and flowering azalea bushes, as well as azalea trees. Now looking at the new biomes, starting with the groove biome, you'll find snowy terrain with big spruce trees and powdered snow traps. Generates on high altitude terrain beneath mountain peaks or on hilltops. Also spawns wolves, rabbits, and foxes. The Lofi Peaks biome comes with dramatic jagged mountain peaks covered in stone and snow, and spawns goats. The Snowy Slopes biome is a very snowy terrain that can hide powdered snow traps. Tends to generate on high altitude terrain beneath mountain peaks and on hilltops. Spawns rabbits and goats. The beautiful meadow biome is a large, grassy, and flowery biome that tends to generate high up on plateaus or next to a large mountain range. Sometimes contains a lone tall oak or birch tree, often with a bee's nest. Spawns donkeys, rabbits, and sheep. The Stony Peaks biome is a stony mountain peak that may be jagged or smooth, contains strips of calcite, and spawns goats. And we have the Snow-Capped Peaks, a smooth mountain peak with ice and snow, and it also spawns goats. Changes have been made to mob spawning. Monsters can now only spawn in places where the light from blocks is 0. Skylight still prevents spawning like before. Now let's look into the new ore generation. Ore generation has been changed to match the new world height and to add more strategy to mining. There is no longer a single Y level that is best for all ores. Iron ore generates below Y72 with a strong bias towards Y16. Iron ore also generates above 112 with more iron ore the higher you go. Copper ore now generates between Y0 and Y96 with a strong bias towards Y48. Lapis generates below Y64 with a strong bias towards Y0. However, lapis below Y-32 or above Y32 can't generate exposed to air. It will either be buried or inside water. Coal generates above Y0 with strong bias towards Y96 and above. Coal has reduced air exposure, so you will find more coal buried or underwater than exposed to air. Gold generates below Y32 with a strong bias towards Y-16. Extra gold can still be found in the Badlands biome. Redstone ore generates below Y16. Redstone ore generation gradually increases as you go down below Y-32 and further down. Diamonds generate below Y16. With more diamonds the lower you go. Diamonds have reduced air exposure, so you'll find more diamonds buried or underwater than exposed to air. Now moving on to noise caves and aquifers. Noise caves come in 3 types. Aquifers below Y0 will sometimes be lava aquifers instead of water aquifers. Underwater cave caverns and underwater canyons have been removed. Now let's go over the world generation changes. Generation range and build limits have been expanded by 64 blocks up and 64 blocks down to a total range of 384 blocks. Underground features, structures, and cave generate all the way down to Y-64. Diorite and granite and andesite and dirt don't generate below Y0. Starting from Y0 and below, deep slate gradually replaces all stone. Deep slate blobs no longer generate above Y0. Less diorite, granite, and andesite generates above Y60. Strips of gravel can generate in stony shores. Swamp trees. New options have been added. Added an accessibility option to stop the sky flashing during thunderstorms. An option has also been added to specify the audio device used by the game. Toggle sprint and toggle sneak has been added to the control settings. Keybinds have also been moved out into their own screen setting. And now going over the other changes in 21W37A, villagers no longer attack baby villagers. Axolotls now only spawn in Lush Caves biome, and now have their own separate mob cap. Cloud level has been raised from 128 to 192. And that is basically it for this snapshot video. Yeah, pretty good for the first 1.18 snapshot, and yeah, thank you so much for sticking by this long into the video. If you enjoyed, and that is basically it for this snapshot video. Definitely quite a lot to cover, but thank you for sticking by this long into the video. And if you enjoyed, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.